So today we're going to go over how to automatically copy appointments from the Rep PTTP calendar into your own personal calendar in Outlook. We're going to cover this in 3 different ways. Each one is going to be more complex than the first one. So I would advise choosing the method that is at the level you're most comfortable with and using that one. Don't try, even though it will save you a bit more time, to do something that you don't understand or is more complex than your comfortable level is currently. You'll just end up spending a lot of extra time being frustrated about it, and it won't actually save you any time in the long run. So to start off with, if we just want to add a single occasion from the calendar into my personal calendar, what we'll do is, let's say, on September 1st, Paul site visit. So I want to add that into my personal account. So I'll double click on it to open up the form. And then I'll go up here to the top and it just simply says copy to my calendar. So I'll click on that. And then I can go to my personal calendar, and sure enough, here on September 1st, it's going to show up. Now, if I double click it, it's going to open it up in the standard form for Outlook. So the subject is going to be this condensed, abbreviated form that we will see in there in the week view, and the location will be the expanded full name. So if it has an abbreviation, you'll say it completely in the location. But now that's here on my own calendar. That is, it's a copy of what was in the calendar. So if somebody changes what was in the Rep PTTP calendar, it's not going to update in my personal calendar. It is as if I've written it in, but I didn't actually have to sit down and type it in. At this point, I can go ahead and give it a category based on what I'm doing. So let's say I'm going to categorize that one appropriately, and then just click Save and Close, and I have it ready to go. The other way I can do it is if I'm in the calendar, and let's say I want to be able to add it into my personal calendar, but I'm going to do it a lot, so just doing it and opening the occasion every single time would take too long. I can create myself a nifty little button where I don't have to go into it. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to customize the ribbon. This is where you get a little bit more advanced. So in order to customize the ribbon, let's first identify where we want to place it in the ribbon. So I'm going to select an occasion, and I'm going to look up at the ribbon, and you notice once I selected the occasion, we actually changed to this ribbon called Calendar Tools Appointments. And what I have in here, and what I'm fixing to show you how to create, is this thing called Copy to Folder. So I want to make sure it goes into this one, so as soon as I select it, it's showing the right thing, so I don't have to go back and tab through these other ones. So in order to do that, I'm going to right click in the ribbon, and I'm going to say Customize the ribbon. And it'll bring up this dialog box here. So to begin with, let's see, I want to go over to Customize the ribbon, and I want to customize the tool tabs, because you'll notice up here it says Calendar Tools. Well, I'm going to go down in here and look at Calendar Tools Appointments. So that's actually what I'm looking at. And then I'll go down and I'll select this one, and I'll click on New Group. And as you see, it just added that new group. And then I'll rename it, and I'll type in the regroup name of a Rep PTTP, and then click OK. And as you can see, it shows up there. Now, of course, there's 2 in mine because I've already gotten it created. Now, the next thing I need to do is find the command I then want to add into that new group. So I'll go up here and I'll just tell it to show me all commands. And then I'll scroll down to the C's, because I want to go from Copy to Folder. Now, you'll notice I'll highlight Copy to Folder, and I've highlighted the new custom group that I just created, and then I'll just click Add, and it just added it into the group. And then I'll just tell it OK. And it's going to take just a second, and all of a sudden you'll see it load up into the top ribbon. So when I select an appointment, I now have it up here. So in order to use this one, all I have to do, if I wanted to say, let's say, okay, TP's having a day off on this Sunday, so I'm going to copy that over. I can come up here, click copy to folder, and this time I get a dialog box so I can copy it to any folder, but of course I just want to copy it to my calendar, which is the default one it's selected here, and I'll just click OK. And of course it just added it to my folder in the same way as before. Now, since I don't have to go into the form, what I can do is, let's say I want to copy all these days off, is I can just click on the day off, hold down Control, and then go through and click on the remainders, and then go up to copy to folder. It's going to use the same one as you last selected, and then click OK. Now it's going to take a little bit longer because it's actually copying the items over, and then now I have all of those days off into my personal calendar. Now, the third level of doing this, if you really don't want to mess around and you don't mind doing a little data mining, is if we go up to change views and go into the search function. Let's say Vanessa's been asking me about all of the opening nights. So I want to get all the opening nights into my personal calendar. So in order to do that, we'll kind of do this the same way we did before. I know I'm going to find all the opening nights in the PTTP area under the production managers, and so I'll group it by the area and then the subject, and then I'll go in here and open that up. So I'll go down to the production managers area, then I'm going to scroll down to openings. Now I could go in and select these holding down the Control key and select all of them, or I can just select the actual group itself. Now this is for the advanced user because you'll notice it doesn't pop up that toolbar, but what you can do is, you can see here I've created myself a whole new custom tab, or you can simply add the button that we just added in the same way before to your home ribbon on your base or to any of the other bases that you choose. I do it on my own custom tab, and then I'll click copy to folder, and I'll do the same exact thing. And by doing that, I've just copied all 10 instantly into my personal calendar. Now, a note about this. Obviously, I'm copying. I'm not linking. So I have no problem copying all of the opening nights to my personal calendar because it's unlikely that they will change, and if they do change, it's going to be announced to everybody, so I'll be aware of it. But as soon as I copy it to my calendar, I then have to manage whether or not it's up to date. So I strongly suggest only copying this stuff out in advance that is very unlikely to change. So I wouldn't recommend copying days off 3 months in advance, or specific rehearsal hours 3 months in advance, and then just go through as you get closer to it and add it to your calendar for the information that's relative to you that you actually need to do it. Our policy in the TP area is we go ahead and start adding things 2 weeks out to our personal calendar, and then that way, if something gets changed within 2 weeks, it's going to be announced to everybody that it was changed, so that we can be responsible for changing and managing those changes in our personal calendars, as well as making sure they correlate with the production calendar. But that is how you add occasions from the calendar to your personal calendar without actually having to have 2 calendars open and manually type it in.